Welcome to New Life Live with host and founder of New Life Ministries, Stephen Arterburn. New Life Live is dedicated to transforming lives one at a time, thanks to the giving hearts of you, our listeners. Our goal is to provide you with wisdom from God's Word to give you hope and help in life's hardest places. If you have a question you'd like to ask today, our phone lines are open. Call 1-800-229-3000. That number again is 1-800-229-3000. Now here's Steve.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to New Life Live. Glad you're with us here today. I want to just right off the bat remind everybody I'm preaching this Sunday. You can hear that northviewchurch.us, and I'm going to be preaching on the summer of 2020 and all the things that we've been through and what we have learned, and that's going to be on Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Saturday, 9 and 11 on Sunday. Please join me. I'd love for you to hear that message. I love getting to preach anytime. Now, one of our favorite folks here, Chris Williams, and the last time he was here, we had our other special guest. Really glad to have her back, and that is Jackie Mack-Harris, Dr. Jackie Mack-Harris. Hi, guys. Welcome.
Hey, good to be here.
Hi. I'm glad to be here, too.
We're into this COVID crisis, and we thought we were going to come out of it, and now, we're kind of slumping back into it. And any thoughts you guys have on how people can be or shore up their resiliency when things are just not happy-making out there in the world?
Well, I've just seen a ton of fatigue. People just getting really, really tired, and sort of the yo-yo effect. Can we open? Can we go back to life as usual? No, we can't. And then the confusion of the information and how people react to the information. It's just a lot of continued disruption. And I've just found that and I can just speak for myself and our family, is that we've really been more intentional about finding things that really are life-giving for us. Mm-hmm. More game nights, more time together, just finding activities, bike riding, different things like that allow us to kind of go back to more older ways, where we're not distracted by all these other things, but spending more time together and enjoying and cultivating those connections.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on this, Dr. Jackie?
I've been thinking about the people who don't have other people around and how hard that must be for them. There's at least 5 people in my house at all times, and so I haven't experienced that same sense of loneliness. And so I encourage people to think about all the things that they wanted to do back when they were so busy, that book they wanted to write, that business they thought they'd start on Etsy, some craft they want to do, and find things that they enjoy that give them life and start pouring energy into that, and then taking it one day at a time. You wake up today, you know what today is about. We'll give tomorrow to tomorrow.
Boy, that one day at a time thing, really good idea. And you could build a whole recovery movement around one day at a time. There are a lot of things I can't do, but there's one thing I can do and I can get through today. Well, I want to go right to the phones. I want to talk to Jan. I've heard, she's from Livingston, and I've heard that she's a Club New Life member, and we're grateful for that. Hi, Jan. How are you today?
I'm grateful to be talking to you, so I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for this ministry, which has touched me for probably over 10 years.
Wow. Well, that's so great to hear. Thank you.
It's a phenomenal gift that you are giving those that are open to hearing it, is the best way I can say this.
Thank you.
And for me, what's happened in my life particularly in the last 6 months, but I am I think I'm pretty good at cutting right to the chase. I hope so anyway. I married a man a year and a half ago, and I have known him since kindergarten, but I've not known him since kindergarten. I just knew who
Jan,
he
let
was
me stop you. Let me stop you. I appreciate you getting right to, but I've got to go to this break, and there's nothing I can do to delay it. So we're going to get to you. And I think a lot of people want to hear about this. Known since kindergarten, married a year and a half. We'll be back right after this for more New Life Live.
After I found the pornography on the internet, I said, you either get help or I have to leave this household.
Every day, thousands of women discover their husband is struggling with sexual integrity. And since shelter-in-place orders have gone into effect, traffic to porn sites has skyrocketed. New Life's Every Man's Battle workshop can help.
I believed that I could do it on my own. I just believed if I tried hard enough and pulled myself up hard enough by my bootstraps, I could do it. It was a battle that I'd had all my life. I had to get help.
The Every Man's Battle workshop can be a trip to the sexual addiction emergency room. During this time of social distancing, the Every Man's Battle workshop will be held online Saturday, August 15th. Find sexual integrity, accountability, and connection. Register now to reserve a place at the Every Man's Battle online workshop. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
The single most helpful thing was to realize that I wasn't the weirdest guy on the planet.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-NEWLIFE. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back, Steve Arterburn here, and we are talking with Jan, and she's already told us what we're dealing with here, and that is knowing somebody but not really knowing them since kindergarten. Got married a year and a half ago, and now what have you discovered about him?
There's the underlying word, discovered. What I have discovered and uncovered is multiple things, starting with a highly dysfunctional relationship with his daughter, who lives in California and is an adult. She's 30 years old. And not only is she dysfunctional, but she's actually evil. I have met her. I have heard her talk to her father on the phone. And this has been going on since I have known him, so a year and a half, roughly. But it has escalated in the last 6 to 8 months to the point of me now, whenever I hear her, even when I see a piece of mail with her name on it, I have now learned that I have a panic attack, and I've never even had one nor knew what it was.
Boy, that's
but
powerful.
I'm now under medication. Oh, it's incredibly powerful. It felt like I was going to have a heart attack, and I had no clue what it was until a doctor told me what it was. I'd been in the ER 3 times, and finally somebody figured out what it was. I now have medication that I can take that helps immediately, which is such a blessing. However, that doesn't make that go away.
Yeah,
so, realistically, it escalated, like I said, to the point where then my husband was showing not only signs of still talking to her and taking abuse from her, but not only that, but also fronting her money to pay for her expenses and to live in his multi-million-dollar home. I won't tell you where in California, but it's probably obvious where it might be. And she is living there rent-free, smoking dope with her boyfriend, and he's paying all her bills, and he doesn't see the problem with that. So that's the one thing I've uncovered. The second thing I've uncovered is he is horrific at communication, beyond horrific, to the point where he went here while he was here in Montana. He is now in California. While he was here in Montana, he went through a series of tests on his brain, an MRI scan. He's going to a pathologist to get tests on that. And all we know right now is there is something wrong, but we don't know what it is. But it got very serious. So he is now in California with his old set of doctors down there. And because of all this, I got so scared about actually being married to him because of the ramifications of what might happen to him/us with his daughter and his mental condition, which was deteriorating. I had a dilemma in front of me that, and I have a fantastic pastor in church here, by the way, but I had a dilemma in front of me that was staring me in the face that said to me, I have to separate from myself. Now, back this up for a second. I have separated myself from him physically multiple times in the last 8 months because I can't be physically near him because of all this. But it got to the point where I feel like one of the most difficult things I've ever done, and I asked him for a divorce, and he agreed. So a month ago, we actually got divorced. But again, that did not stop everything. so down in California, what has happened now is that he was given the choice by me. I flat out talked to him and texted him, and I said, Joel, sorry, I maybe shouldn't say a name, but that's okay. What is. If you do not evict your daughter and then go ahead and continue with that break off of that relationship because it's so evil and scares me to death, I said, I really can't have any more communication with you. So I actually blocked him.
All right.
From
now we got to get to the actual question here, because we get the picture. Okay. So I don't want any more details about it. Well, what is the question for us?
The question for you is, how do I know the stage of grieving, how do I get to the point where I can, I don't know if it's forgiving him
just
or
finish
forgiving
that
me
question.
or all of the above?
What's the question? How do you, what?
How do I be okay with this? Because I know he's suffering and I can't help him. I can't support him anymore.
Okay. Well, let's start with Chris and see what Chris, he's listened intently to all of this, and let's see what he's thinking. I mean, it's just a horrible situation for you, and
Yes,
I've got a couple of comments when Chris and
so,
Dr. Jackie finish up here.
So, Jan, I'm going to be honest. I'm not nearly as concerned about his suffering as I am about yours. In that that disruption, the chaos, the pain, and the emptiness that you're carrying inside of you gets triggered by your now ex-husband and his daughter, and what happens is other people then get way too much control over our state of being. These two people are determining way too much of how you can show up and be okay in the world. And so,
amen to that.
Yeah, so there's something, so I want you to be able, because you really don't have any control. I mean, you're divorced now, so you don't have any control or any say in their lives, so to speak. But what you do have a say is in your own life. And what I would love for you to be able to do is ask the question of yourself, point to the place inside of you that says, this is hurting and this is scared and this is hurt. This is where I'm having the struggle, me, Jan, and I want to do something about how I operate in the world, not how they operate in the world.
And
okay, that makes wonderful sense.
So, Jen, I want to piggyback on what Chris just said. There is something inside of you that has a desire and a need and a want. And so when asking what to do next, that's where you ask. It sounds like you've been allowing external forces to dictate your internal sense of well-being or peace. And since you have said, I can't do this, I can't support you anymore, we're going to need to get divorced, that's severing that relationship. So the how do you get past it is going to take time. It's grief, and it takes a while to grieve a loss. This is a huge loss. But if the request for a divorce was an expectation that would scare him into behaving differently or severing that other relationship, and that hasn't happened, then that's your answer to that question. He can't do what you want him to do, which will make you feel better. It might not make him feel better as much as you think it will. So rather than focus on you deciding what he needs to be better, you decide what you need to be better. And it sounds like you've been doing that. You've separated yourself from him. And so now I think it's about time for you to heal yourself and your focus be on you being better and you being okay and you being safe.
All right. Now, I want to give you a little side note here, Jan, and I'm talking to you, but I'm actually talking to everybody that's listening, and you are a member of Club New Life, so you're supporting me talking to everybody. When a person is considering remarrying, this may sound like a bad attitude, but it's probably not a very good idea. That's where you have to start. You have to say the divorce rate for the second marriage is worse than the first, and it gets worse on the third. And so you have to start from that perspective. We want to get married because we have this romance going that has made both of us certifiably mentally ill. And so we are not good at judging things. We're going to have to really take our time. And yes, I knew you back in kindergarten, but I don't know you as a male adult in a marriage relationship. If you have kids and you're going to try to blend them together, it's probably a really bad idea you have to start with. And you have to see, are we the exception to the rule? Not, hey, all of this stuff just magically works out. And so what I think you have to look at while you're dealing with yourself and your issues is, should you give this guy another chance? Is there a possibility that you might be willing to get back with him if he took a second look at the things that have become just impossible for you to deal with? And I know that's not what you're wanting to hear, and it probably sounds crazy, but we marry, we make the commitment for better or worse, and I just think sometimes we give up before we get therapy for ourselves, find some new strategies to implement, make some suggestions that the other person could live with. For instance, if we could get both of you to our intimacy in marriage, there is a chance that it would have an impact on him. And now that just may sound like it has nothing to do with your situation, but I've just got to throw it in there. Sometimes we need to go back and consider if there is hope for this relationship and provide that hope to the other person. It could be motivation for them to change. Now, I'm really glad that you called, and I'm glad we were able to spend this kind of time with you. And I'm going to send you How We Love. I hope that you'll be blessed by that. Anybody else, you can get that at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. By the way, our gift to you for a gift of any amount are the 12 gifts of Life Recovery. The Life Recovery Bible, 3 million Bibles out there. Dave Stoop and I put together 2 little books, the 12 Laws of Life Recovery and the 12 Gifts. What is it that comes out of working the 12 steps? What are these gifts that essentially we're giving ourselves? And these are great gifts, gifts like hope and power and character and clarity and abundance, self-control, courage, happiness, serenity, peace. All of these things are gifts that come from working the steps. All right, let's go back to the phones, and how about we talk with June from Billerica, Massachusetts there, and I believe June, if I can get her there, I think she...
Hello?
Well, hi there, how are you? WEZE is her station. Hi, how are you?
Hi, good. Thank you for taking my call. I really appreciate it, and I've been a long-time listener and just love all of you, so thank you for the work in ministry.
Thanks for listening.
And,
thank you.
And I am a partner, so my husband and I
Thank
both
you
support your ministry and are just grateful for all your resources and recommend you highly.
Thank you so much.
So my husband and I, we both want to connect, we want to be intimate, but we just seem to miss the mark.
Yeah.
And it's getting to a place where like it almost feels abusive for me, and then it's so wounding for him to look at what's, we've been married for 33 years. So it's just like, how do we connect? How do we get intimate? I mean, I've asked him to go on some of the weekends with us. He's done things with Every Man's Battle. But I just, I think he feels like I'm being controlling, and I that's the last thing I want to be, and I think he's misunderstanding me. And then I do feel like an object. I just feel like I'm one more thing in his life, know. And when he wants to be intimate, I've grown to the place where I want to be. I just cry. It's like I'm almost repulsed, and I feel so guilty about that. And he's a great guy. Like, he's a great provider. He's a wonderful father. He evangelizes everywhere. But when it comes to him and I, we just are not connecting. And I know we both want to, but we don't know how. So
when he wants to connect with you and be intimate with you, are you instantly taken back and resistant, or do you try to go with it and then something happens and you just, man, I just can't do this? Which one is it?
It can be both.
Okay.
So, like, sometimes it's timing, and, like, I got to be somewhere, and then he feels rejected. Or sometimes we'll attempt to be, and then I just have such a hard time.
Okay.
I'll start to cry, or I'll feel just so broken inside. I don't know why.
Well, I feel for you. I'm really glad you called. We'll give you some help for this right after this. You know, after over 30 years of marriage, if we're doing something that's hurtful to one of us, we literally have to say, we can't do this way. We've got to look for some options. And we'll talk about some of those options right after this. You're listening to New Life Live, 1-800-NEW-LIFE, if you need some help.
For most of my life, I've been dealing with an opiate addiction.
Why is opioid addiction quickly becoming one of our nation's biggest killers? Maybe it's because it isn't only those who are addicted who are in denial.
We did what I see so many parents do, is it can't be an addiction. There's something medically wrong.
It's impossible to solve a problem when you don't know what you're up against, and families will try to find any explanation except the one that will put them on the right path.
Alcoholism and drug addiction is a family disease. It doesn't affect just the individual.
If someone you love is abusing painkillers, know what you're up against. It's time to admit it's addiction and seek treatment. Call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have Christ-centered partner treatment centers around the country. Call 1-800-639-5433 or visit us online at newlife.com.
We just made a decision. We will do whatever it takes.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
I was really living a very anxiety-filled life. I did go to Take Your Life Back. That's why I continue to support the ministry with the hope that not only am I helping my own situation, that I'm helping others as well.
You can help New Life Live stay on the air by joining Club New Life today. When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, we'll send you the new member thank you gift of 7 books, including Conquer Worry and Anxiety by Dr. Daniel Amen, Healing is a Choice by Steve Arterburn, and Forgiving What You'll Never Forget and Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life, both by Dr. Dave Stu. Plus, there are ongoing benefits like access to the Club New Life video library, quarterly resources, free shipping on purchased resources, and discounts on workshops. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
All right. Well, we're talking with June here, and after over 30 years of marriage, it's not working here, the intimacy piece, and she is feeling like so many women feel. Some men feel this way too, you know.
Yeah.
But she feels like an object to him, and he struggled with sexual integrity. And I was talking at the break with these guys. You don't walk out of every man's battle, not everybody, knowing how to treat somebody as a person versus an object. And so, Dr. Jackie, what are you thinking would be important for her to know? What's essential here?
Well, I think it's important for you to know, June, that 34 years is just incredible. So first, I just want to congratulate you on 34 years of marriage and maintaining this relationship. And it sounds like you've been feeling sad and alone in the relationship and wanting more connection. And you have a great guy. He just doesn't really know how to share his emotions with you. And I wonder if it would help you to think about it in a different way, and not that he doesn't want to, but he doesn't know how to. It can be scary and hard, and some of us don't do very well in that emotional space because it's physically painful for us, or we don't have the tools to talk about it, and we have a hard time dealing with an other's reaction. So you share your emotions with him, he feels it, he maybe gets upset about that, but you just shared something with him that was painful, and he doesn't know what to do with it. one, it's not his, it was yours. Right. And so he doesn't know that. And so he's trying to push it back to you. And then that creates more distance between you. So I would encourage you to see if he would go to another couples weekend. Try that again. Couples therapy could be really helpful here, where someone could hold a safe space for the two of you to show up emotionally and share your emotional experiences and dig deep and figure out, where did I learn this pattern of avoiding sharing emotions with others? And then I'm wondering too how that's been for you when you try to convey your emotion to him. Does he push away? Does he pull away? Does he get argumentative? What's it like for you?
All of the above.
Okay.
So
it's almost like he takes it. It's almost like when I
he
try
takes
to draw near to him and fix things, he like feels like it's his fault somehow.
Yeah. Okay. So
it's not your fault. This has nothing to do with you.
Yeah, June.
He shuts down.
June, you nailed it. You're up against something that's very, very, very challenging, and that is your husband is still dealing with a high level of internal shame. So let me give you a quick example of this. Is the primary belief that he may carry in the world that he is not enough, that he's not good enough. And so when you bring a complaint to him that says, hey, I'm really struggling with this in our marriage, he doesn't hear, I'm struggling with this in our marriage. He hears, oh, I'm not good enough.
Exactly.
And that's why
we know that.
And that's why he reacts to it. So he's got to go in and start addressing that shame. But I think that a couple of questions that you can ask him, and first off is like, one, what did you hear and what are you afraid of? Because there's so much here that's getting lost in translation, and that's what gets the pain, is when we can't understand, when we can't find that empathy piece, and then it's two people battling for empathy when they can't hear each other. That's a painful pattern.
Yeah.
And so
yes, and you hit the nail on the head. Like, and I believe that's what's come to light for me, and then asking him to. It's so I refer to it sometimes as like he's wearing a raincoat, and his ability to repel emotions is so great that it's to the point where he doesn't even take responsibility for any portion that might be his. And I've come through a lot of counseling and a lot of things from abuse in my past, and so like it's just so easy for him to be like, well, she's broken, he can
sweep
it under the carpet,
displace it on you.
He doesn't have the tools.
But
he doesn't have the tools
you're
to
right.
face his own emotions or even me.
Just like Jackie said, he doesn't have the tools and he never learned how. But I also want you to know that his emotional cup runneth over, meaning he has no room for yours because he hasn't dealt with his own.
Yeah, we often think when people are emotionally avoidant that they're cold and they don't have emotions. They usually have bigger emotions than everyone else. They've just learned how to keep that contained because somewhere in their history they were taught that it's not okay for them to feel, and other people can't handle their feelings, and it makes them look weak and small, and so they figured out strategies to not show up emotionally, and sometimes we get so good at that we can't show up for our partner or don't even think that it's the healthy choice because emotional expression looks so dangerous. If you look back in the rearview mirror, that you just start shutting down rather than risk someone being angry and hurt by something you've said or done, or you being angry and hurt because of someone's reaction to your emotions.
So maybe you say to him, I just don't think we should live like this. And we're going to live like this until you are willing for us to get a different kind of help here. And then you search for what kind of different help is it. Is it each of you separately going to see a therapist? Is it coming together on the intimacy and marriage weekend, seeing if you can get a different perspective on each other in that? I don't know what it is, but more bad sex hasn't ever really helped anything. And I think there you have to say, we've got to do this in a different way, and maybe you're the one that needs to initiate here to say, okay, let's come together, let's go slow. Because desire in a woman, sexual desire in a woman, usually you don't have that first, it develops when you feel safe. We'll be back right after this.
After I found the pornography on the internet, I said, you either get help or I have to leave this household.
Every day, thousands of women discover their husband is struggling with sexual integrity. And since shelter-in-place orders have gone into effect, traffic to porn sites has skyrocketed. New Life's Every Man's Battle workshop can help.
Every Man's Battle, I fought it the whole week with my wife. Within 2 hours, you could have opened a book and showed me where my life has been ever since I was a little boy.
The Every Man's Battle workshop can be a trip to the sexual addiction emergency room. During this time of social distancing, the Every Man's Battle workshop will be held online Saturday, August 15th. Find sexual integrity, accountability, and connection. Register now to reserve a place at the Every Man's Battle online workshop. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
He said, this may have saved my life.
Every Man's Battle was a life-changing experience for me and a marriage-saving experience for me.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addictions, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
You guys are awesome. You're a blessing to America.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals, all in a biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol. I think God has ordained this place to be His.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me that I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first step toward genuine spiritual and emotional healing, please call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433.
We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back, Steve Arterburn here. I'm going to send her a copy of the new Every Man's Battle with a lot of new information I think would help. I would also recommend, we've said it here, a do-over on Every Man's Battle. Sometimes, the greatest gift you can give a guy is to say, you got to go back. You just have to. You need to take another look at so many things, and you get them back in there, and then the second time they go, they uncover some things they never knew were there in the first time. And so that'd be great. And then I would hope that you guys could get to intimacy in marriage. Maybe there's a scholarship for you. I would love that. And then I'm going to send this book to you, which is the 7-Minute Marriage Solution. It's got 7 things that people do in successful marriages and 7 things they just don't do in successful marriages. I'm going to get that to you. Hope that that's helpful to you. Let's go. How about we talk with Mary from Philadelphia here. WBYN is the station. Hi, Mary. How are you today? What's going on in your life?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good.
I'll start with my question. My question is, how do I get back on track with my counselor?
Okay. Well, how did you get off track with her?
I'm not sure. I think because we started doing Zoom meetings.
Mm-hmm.
I originally started going maybe 7-8 months ago. For the initial reason was just work stress. So I started going with weekly. We had. Of course, it went down to back to my childhood, all kinds of issues, and she was extremely helpful, gave me great tools.
Good.
It was working out well. COVID happened. The meetings went to Zoom, and probably after that, I was just chatting with a girlfriend. So I didn't like the Zoom vibe. As soon as she opened up office hours, I got back in. After the second office meeting, I felt like we were just chatting. She was, showing me vacation pictures and telling me about her workload and how it's increased because of COVID. And I want to get back on track. I don't like the way it's going. I don't know what questions I should ask or how can I do it.
All right, so let's hear from Dr. Jackie first, and then Chris. So if she was your client, and she was thinking you were being more of a friend than a real life therapist, what would you want her to do? What would be her best path to get both of you back on track?
I would say, Mary, to let your therapist know how you're feeling. And to just, say, I remember back before we went to Zoom how helpful these particular things were. I'm wondering if we can get back to some of that and see if that shifts things. We want the opportunity to make the adjustments. It's your space. It's time for you to grow and explore what's going on with you. And so this should be a good, safe place for you to be able to ask for what you need and directly.
Pierce, you have a thought on this?
Yeah. First off, Mary, I'm so glad, and probably because I am a counselor, I am a therapist, glad you called with this question because of how oftentimes common this is that something starts off, a change happens, or whatever the case may be, that the relationship, the therapeutic relationship, or what we're working on either kind of runs off course or also can run dry. And so I think it's really important, Mary, that you can identify for yourself, what do I really want out of this? What am I looking for? So you can clarify your objectives and your goals, and you can bring that to your therapist and say, hey, here are the things I want to work on, and here's what I want to go with. And I also want to put this out there that there are times when the relationship we have with the current therapist has just kind of run its course, and it may be either time to take a break or find someone else.
And also, I just want to throw this out. Therapists are people, and they can be impacted by COVID virus, and she may feel so isolated, and she doesn't even know she's doing this until you tell her. She's really kind of having more of a friendship type interaction with you because she doesn't have anybody to show the pictures to and all of this. And so, sometimes just a little comment by somebody that is seeing the therapist pulls them right back in. They go, oh, yeah, absolutely. Let's get back to it. So I would really be open and honest with her. I think it's going to help you a lot. And hold on. I'm going to send you this little book, this great book, 12 Gifts of Life Recovery. And that's our gift to you for a gift of any amount. All right, it's 1-800-NEW-LIFE. If you need some help, you can call us. Let's go over here to Angie. Fresno, California is where she's calling from. Hi, Angie. How are you?
Hi. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Sure. What's going on with you today?
So I think what I have is considered pathological jealousy, and I'm saying that because I have been reading a lot about it. So my basic question is, what is the best treatment, and is there hope? Because this has been going on for so long, such a long time.
What does he do that makes you jealous?
I just imagine things. For instance, the guy I was seeing, when he didn't text me, I immediately will jump to think that he's talking to another girl.
Does he talk to other girls a lot?
No, these are things that are just in my mind because this happened. This is not the first time. So,
this is not the first time for what?
For my feelings, my thoughts.
Okay. So you're saying that he actually has never given you any reason to suspect he's with somebody else?
No, I'm sorry. What I'm saying is this happened with other relationships. I always accuse the guy that he's talking to another person, or if he is nice to someone and does a favor, if she's a female, I'll think that there is something going on between them.
Okay, well, let's see.
Nothing to support this.
Okay.
All in
all right,
my
so
head.
I get it. All right, so let's see what Chris has, and then Dr. Jackie, what they think about this.
So Angie, I don't really believe that you believe that you're worthy of love.
That's
right.
I have a long history of abuse, neglect by my parents, by my ex-husband.
Yeah, so Angie, you've had a pattern of people rejecting you. That is real pain. And that creates such an incredible amount of fear in us. And so now you believe that it's inevitable, but you also want to be in control of it. Because we're not in control of when people reject us. And not only can we not tolerate the rejection, we can't tolerate not being in control of it. And so what you're doing is what I call preemptive rejection. I'm going to make you reject me before you have the opportunity to. So I'm building the case inside of me of why you can't find me lovable and worthy to be connected to, worthy to be in a faithful, committed relationship to.
Yes.
Okay, so take a deep breath.
I'm 38 years old.
Yes, and so
if I don't get this under control, I think I will be alone forever.
So listen to me. You are going to get it because you're going to do the things necessary to heal. It's going to take time. It's going to take work. But you're going to go into a good therapist in your area that does trauma work really, really well. And you're going to start unpacking these incidences in your past that have created this pain. Now, it's going to take a lot of support, and I want you to get into supportive relationships, especially with other women, that help guide you along the way and help love you along the way, because you're going to be required to touch the pain again. But when you touch the pain and do it in a therapeutic manner, you're able to heal the pain, and God's going to be with you the whole way.
Yeah, it's really sad because the very thing that you are afraid of, the jealousy, you're afraid of being abandoned, being left, then you get so overwhelmingly possessive and jealous, runs the person off. It creates the thing that you don't want to have happen. So you have to get down inside at the heart of this finally, and I hope you'll do that. Hold on. I'm going to send you Healing is a Choice, and I hope we can find a really great therapist for you. We'll be back. Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
I'm an addict, and I'm trying to get God in my life again.
You seem to be able to get to the crux of a problem quickly.
Our Christ-centered treatment programs can help you break free to embrace all that God has for you and your family.
I just want to thank you guys for bringing me to a relationship with Jesus.
There really is help for marital problems, depression, addictions, panic attacks, and feelings of hopelessness.
I came back with so many tools to help me prepare myself to fight this struggle and this battle that I have every day.
You can start living again today, living the life God intended for you. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
They did care, and they did follow up very lovingly, and it made all the difference in my life.
Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Someone who cares is waiting at the other end of the phone. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Just call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-639-5433.
I was really living a very anxiety-filled life. I turned on New Life, and the topic that day was about anxiety. And just by listening, I got relief.
You can help New Life Live stay on the air by joining Club New Life today. When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, we'll send you the new member thank you gift of 7 books, including Growth Has No Boundaries by Drs. John Townsend and Henry Cloud, Take Your Life Back by Steve Arterburn and Dr. Dave Stoop, and the Emotional Freedom Workbook. Plus, there are ongoing benefits like access to the Club New Life video library, the monthly Club New Life CD or download, quarterly resources, free shipping on purchased resources, and discounts on workshops. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
All right, we are back. So glad you're with us. Larry Sonnenberg's in the studio. Larry, what do you have for us here?
Steve, a lady named Melanie wrote us a note with a gift, a check, and she said, "You've given me hope to go on living despite all of the pain and heartache I feel every day. Thank you for hearing the call of the Lord, and thank you for holding his people in your hand and in your hearts. I'm not so sad anymore. I'm beginning to feel joy and peace." That's because of this radio program, folks, and this radio program for us to continue and to provide the healing and hope that Melanie felt. We need some financial support, so if you could make a gift, if you could join Club New Life, make all the difference in the world for us. So thank you.
It sure would. And you know, I've heard so many people say, I knew that when I gave to you, it would help people. But I didn't know the impact that it would have on me. And it really does. It changes so much getting out of yourself and into somebody else. Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE if you can help us. We would be so grateful. Well, I'm going to go to my final caller here. And let's go to Martha. And she's calling from Colorado Springs. KGFW is the station. Hey, Martha, how are you?
I'm great. And you?
Doing okay.
I really appreciate y'all's program.
Thank you. How could we help you today?
I'm going through a lot of sadness and grief and constant bad self-talk. And the basic question is, how do I work with my grandson's mom and my son? And they're not married. They just had my grandson almost 6 years ago, and they separated a year and a half ago. So I don't know what their relationship is anymore as far as considering themselves girlfriend and boyfriend or whatever. But anyway, that's beside the point. A year and a half ago, my grandson's mom said to my son, "Your mother is forbidden to see the grandson except when she goes through you, the son. I won't talk to her by text, no email. I won't answer her phone calls. I won't have anything to do with her. She has to go through you, the son, for everything." And my son seems to just bow down to what this lady wants. And her parents have the grandson a lot. And, of course, we're in Colorado, and there's no grandparents' rights at all.
Okay.
So I've
What's the question for us then?
That I do. I'm sorry?
I just wanted to know what the question was for us specifically.
So the basic question is, if neither one of them will answer the question, help me make a schedule to see the grandson. If they won't answer me and talk to me about it, how can I deal with this grief and sadness and awful self-talk?
That is rough. Okay. All right. Well, let's see what Chris and Dr. Jackie have to say. What are you guys thinking here that could help her? This is tough.
Well, first off, Martha, I'm really sad for you, too. I can't imagine not being able to see my 5-year-old grandson. It would really break my heart. And so I want to encourage you to have this conversation with your son. You said that he told you that unless you go through him, you can't see your grandson. So I'm not hearing where the problem is with going through him.
I have, but he makes all kinds of excuses that it seems like to me would have come from her to begin with, but he wants to side with her and just bow down to all of her rules.
Yeah.
Well,
and I can go outside his apartment. He lives on the 3rd floor, and the grandson can put his head over the balcony. But of course, I can't see him really because he's only 5 years old. And
so what do you think?
What he's saying.
Okay. All right. So what do you think she should do?
I say you have to listen to the parents. And so forming or solidifying, improving your relationship with your son, working on, you said you had some negative self-talk as well, so working through some of your negative beliefs about yourself might help create some change in your relationship with your son. But since they're his parent, then they're going to have a say over where he goes. And so your goal really is going to be to improve your relationship with your son so that he's more open to you being able to see your grandson and being okay following the parents' rules for him, in the same way that I'm sure when you were raising your child, you wanted anyone who was a caregiver for your child to follow the rules you had set in place for him. So we want to honor that even with our adult children. And so I would work on my relationship with my child and figure out what's gone awry here that you don't want me to spend time with my grandson. And can I spend time with him with you? Like, I'll take what I can get. And if that means the only time I can see him is when he's at your house and I'm there for a little while, then I'll come and do that, because spending time with him is more important than me being able to make decisions about how that time is spent or where. I just want to be with them.
Chris, you have a quick comment?
Yes.
Martha?
I have.
Martha, listen to what Chris
really
said,
quickly.
real quick.
The way you talk to yourself, there's no way you would talk to your worst enemy that way. That is the one thing in this situation that you can do something about. Because of this, when we're able to build a safer and better relationship with ourselves, that translates to all other relationships in our lives. And so going to work on that negative self-talk is the beginning point of the change. The change in you is going to be the start of the change in the relationships with your son, your grandson, and, by the way, everyone around you.
All right, I'm really glad that you called, and I'm going to send you a copy of How We Love, and I think it'll give you some insight into how this whole relationship developed into such a problem. Anybody else wanting a copy? 1-800-NEW-LIFE. As we close out the program, let me remind you, northviewchurch.us, 5 p.m. Eastern on Saturday, 9 and 11 on Sunday. I'm preaching there. I hope you'll join me. Also, if you can give a gift of $30 a month, we will send you, as our thank you, 7 different books like Conquer Worry and Anxiety, Emotional Freedom Workbook, Healing is a Choice, all sorts of great books from the New Life Library, our way of saying thank you. And then, you can always download our app. We would love for you to do that. It's a great, easy way to hear what we're doing here whenever you want to. Every Man's Battle is September the 12th, 10 days away. Don't forget to sign up. And then Intimacy in Marriage is in October. Then we have Restore coming up. Anything you need, you call us. It could be a book. It could be getting a referral to a counselor. It could be one of our intensives. We're there for you. And thank you to all of you who have allowed us to do this for 31 years, actually longer than 31 years. And we want to be here 31 more. So help us if you can. And we'll send you a gift of any amount. We'll send you this 12 gifts of life recovery. And if you want to see some of these gifts that God has for you, great little book to help you experience all that God has for you. My thanks to Chris Williams, and then also Dr. Jackie. Thank you for joining us. Love having you on. We'll have you back again. And if you need some help, here's how you get it. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. There are people that got up this morning and said, I cannot wait for Bucky or Janice or whoever it is to call. So make the phone call. They've been waiting for you. That's why they do what they do. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. You can also go to the website, newlife.com, and I'll see you at 5 o'clock Eastern for Going Deeper. We're going deeper into how to have that magnificent marriage. We'll take a break. Come right back. Well, actually, we won't come back. We're done. We're done for the whole day. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or write to us at New Life Ministries, P.O. Box 1029, Lake Forest, California, 92609. Please join us again tomorrow for New Life Live.
Hi, Steve Arterburn here. Thanks for watching New Life Live on our New Life YouTube channel. You know, you can see it anytime. Hope you'll subscribe, and when you do, hope you'll turn that little button thing on, the bell, so that whenever we post a new video, it'll ring right through. Now, if you go to newlife.com, you'll see the schedule of when we're in the studio, which is helpful to know if you have a question for the program, or you could go to newlife.com or call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. You could do this on the app. I mean, there's so many ways that you can stay in touch with us and know when we're there, because we want to answer your questions. So thanks for watching right here on the New Life YouTube channel, and we'll see you next time. Click here to subscribe.